Hey there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Woody Bendle here from Next Level Growth Strategies. If you're looking for a job, trying to get a promotion, trying to get a good deal on something, trying to make a sale, trying to land a new client, or just looking for advice, this week's business tip is definitely for you. Something I've always said is that often the most valuable information is simply being reminded about what you already know. And this week's business tip is going to be a reminder about something that we've probably all heard at least more than once throughout our lives. Now, the thing about this week's business tip is that it is universally valuable. Regardless your age, your background, your experience level, this week's business tip is something that everyone, and I do mean everyone, can easily leverage and benefit from. It's that powerful. All right then, stick around because I know you are not going to want to miss out on this week's tip. Welcome back, everyone. And before we jump on in, if you're a fan of our videos, be sure to give us a like and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on one of our weekly business tips. Now, back in the intro, I mentioned an expression I like to use related to valuable or useful information or advice, which is this. Often, it's not about what you don't know, but rather simply being reminded about what you already know. And this week's tip is probably going to be exactly that for the vast majority of you. So here it is. One of the most valuable things in life is not what you know, it's who you know. But you need to know something too. Now, let me say that again so it sinks in. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. But you better know something too. A number of years ago, I was asked to speak to a group of MBA students who were about to graduate. And the professor who invited me to speak asked me to talk about something valuable I'd learned throughout my career but wasn't taught in school. What a fascinating ask from a university that had just charged its MBA students about the price of an average U.S. home. Okay, challenge accepted. And my opening statement completely caught the room off guard, and that was this. I want to congratulate all of you for your academic accomplishments. For those of you who are about to graduate, you've obtained valuable knowledge and skills over the past 2 years that will benefit you and your employers greatly throughout your careers. But I'm going to share something with you today that is more valuable for your careers than anything they've taught you in here, and that is this. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But you better know something too. Now, we were in an auditorium-style lecture hall with over 100 first-year and second-year MBA students, some undergraduates, and probably a dozen faculty members. So I started doing some informal polling to make my point. By show of hands, how many of you who are getting ready to graduate already have jobs lined up? Now, for those of you who have your hands up, keep them up. How many of you knew absolutely no one where you're going, or didn't have someone you know make a connection for you? At this point, there were only a handful of hands still raised. So, looking at the room, there are only 4 of you starting jobs at places where you didn't already know somebody or someone you knew didn't make an introduction of some sort. Think about that. Knowing someone most likely made the difference between getting an interview or not. And I'm betting it tipped the scales when it came to their hiring decision. It wasn't about what you knew. It was about who you knew. And let me share this with you. I have not gotten a single job without knowing someone. Not one. And there are very few people that I've hired over the years that I didn't already know, or they didn't know someone that I knew, and that someone either made the introduction or served as a reference and endorsed them. Now, I made that statement quite a few years ago, and fast forward to today, this is still true. That's pretty amazing when you come to think about it. And here's a stat you need to know, and it continues to surprise me because it was true over 20 years ago, and it's still true today. Did you know that 70 to 80% of all jobs that are filled out there are never posted or advertised? Think about that. Now, some of those are filled by recruiters, but that's not the majority of them. The majority of these jobs are filled as a result of networking. And keep in mind, in many cases, there wasn't even a job already created. And one of the most effective ways to network is by connecting with someone you know, or having someone you know connecting you with someone you want to meet with, or pointing you to someone you should meet with. Now, when I wrapped up my talk with the MBA students, I shared some final thoughts and advice, and this is this week's business tip. First, We all know somebody who knows somebody. You've just got to put in the legwork to find them. But we've all got a valuable network of family and extended family members, friends and their family members, colleagues, former colleagues, suppliers, or vendors. And if you look hard enough, you will find someone who knows someone you want to connect with. Second, people genuinely like to help others out, especially if they like you and care about you. Now, I don't know about you, but I always feel pretty darn great whenever I help someone out. And you'll find most people are like this. I personally feel like it's a compliment when I'm asked for help, and it's an honor to help someone who's asking for it. And the thing about tapping into the people you know is that sure, they can help make the connection you're asking for, but pretty often, they'll often have ideas about who else you might want to connect with and put you in touch with them. And third, and this is where the "but you need to know something too" statement comes in. People's time is valuable. If you're networking, which is different from socializing, be prepared. Know what your goal is and what you want to know or what you are asking for. There's nothing more disrespectful than wasting someone's time. And when you do land that job, there are expectations that you will be a valuable addition to the organization. These people who hired you and the people who recommended you have their reputations at stake. Don't take that for granted and don't let them down. This is where you need to let your what you know shine. And I ended with this. Remember, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But you'd better know something too. And this statement holds if you're looking for a job, wanting a promotion or a new opportunity within your organization, trying to make a sale, or trying to land a new client. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Don't ever underestimate the value of the network of people you're connected to. And now you have one more connection, me. If there's someone I know that you want to connect with, or if you're maybe just looking for some advice, I'm happy to help if I can. Don't hesitate to ask. What do you have to lose? So there you have it. That's this week's tip for getting yourself to the next level by creating clarity, alignment, and consistency. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.